The planer rebuild is coming along really well. Got the base done yesterday. So, like I mentioned yesterday, today we're going to start on the top casting. First thing I need to do is remove these last little pieces of hardware. I got to fix that one, unfortunately. I bent it when I was trying to take it off. And I need to remove the nameplate here. Then we're going to get this thing over onto the plastic over there and spray a whole bunch of super clean on it, get it completely lathered up, let it sit for a while. I got brushes and all kinds of other stuff. We'll get it all scrubbed up, flip it over, do the same on the other side, and luckily it's a fairly nice day. We don't get too many of them this time of winter, so I can take it out by the faucet, rinse it off with really hot water, bring it back in here, dry it with the heat gun, and then we can get to work on the other stuff. I got to clean out all of these holes, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done on this before it gets painted. And then there's a lot of masking as well. So let's get going and get this hardware off and this tag, and we'll start to cleaning it. If you're working on this particular planer, the Delta 15-inch planer, and it has these on it, if you wait till you flip it over and take the bolt out of there, all you got to do is wiggle these and they will eventually come off. I tried pounding them and I bent that other one and nothing would get them off with this turned the other way. So flip it over and all you got to do is wiggle them off. Okay, when I started drying this with the heat gun, I started out with this fan, and I wound up with this pencil tip and directed heat down into every one of these holes, and there is a lot of them. Holes everywhere. So I got everything all nice and dry. Now, something I wasn't expecting, I got this glue where the label was. I'm gonna try heat first and see if that softens it up. Otherwise, I'll have to tip this up on its edge and get some solvent on this, put a rag on it with solvent, and then wrap it in foil or something and let it sit for a day and see if I can get that off. I may be able to get it off with a chisel, with an old utility chisel, and scrape it off and then sand it. I don't know. I have no idea what kind of glue this is. That's the ticket. This is lacquer thinner. That'll do it. Now, got a couple burrs here from when I pounded out the cutter head. I want to take care of those, but I don't want to drag the file all the way across this opening. I just want to get rid of the burr. Yeah, not much to it. Then I'll come back with some finer grit and polish this surface up. We want that bearing to go in easy. lot of the holes on here are kind of rough right from the factory, and that definitely didn't help in the disassembly. Hopefully the assembly goes a lot easier. Okay, we got this thing cleaned with Super Clean, which cleaned it up really well, and then we abraded it with this Scotch-Brite pad. Now I gotta mask everything off. I'm gonna paint the inside. I don't have enough paint to paint the other side, but we'll get everything masked up, which is gonna take probably hours. We'll get everything masked up and paint the inside, and then we'll let this sit until I get the new cans of paint. Okay, that is one half of it, and this is actually the easy half. This half is going to take a little bit longer, but I got to get this done today, get it masked up, and use up the last of the paint that I have, and get this underside painted up, because this really needs to dry. I'm going to be assembling it on the bench. Well, for the most part, I'm going to assemble it on the bench. I'm going to get the feed rollers and the chip guard and all that other stuff in here, and then flip it over and put it on the machine. So we got to get moving on this. So let's turn this around, get the other side, and we'll get this painted up today. Okay, all done with the masking. I unplugged these holes because these just go right through, and there's no reason to have them plugged up. And the ones that were welded need to be unplugged anyways. A lot of holes to fill up, but if you don't do it, all of these are threaded and they're going to get all gummed up if you don't plug them up like that. So I'm going to start with the very inside and bottom on this, and if I have any paint left, I'll get it on the outsides. Well, that went better than I thought it was going to. I got the entire inside and outside of the bottom, which is actually most of the top as well. I got that all painted with this can, and I still have enough in here, I believe, to do the other side. If so, I'll get this done by tomorrow. I'll let this dry overnight, flip it over, and do a little bit of sanding and masking right where it sits, and then we'll get that last coat on it. Hopefully, between those 3 cans, I can get this done, and then I'm getting more paint next week, and with that, I can do this stuff here. I think that's all we have. Just this cover, and, well, these are both covers. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, 1 can might not do both of these, so I'll have to get 2 cans. I was going to get 3, but saved myself 20 bucks. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. We'll get back to this tomorrow morning. Okay. It's the next day, and this paint is nice and dry. I got to get this side masked. I'm going to guess that it's going to take right around an hour. There's not as much to do, and hopefully our paint holds out and I can get this whole top part painted. Kind of iffy, but even if I can't, I'll get a coat on the areas where it needs it the most, and when I get the paint in a couple days, I'll finish it up. Okay, here I go. I'm going to concentrate on these spots where we got a little bit of metal showing. Right here, right there, right here, and then we have a bad spot right here. I don't think that shows in the final configuration, but we'll hit it anyways. We have almost nothing in that one, a little bit in that one, and a little bit more in that one. So we'll start with this almost empty one and get some of this interior stuff. Hopefully when it runs out, it doesn't splatter all over the place. That's what I'm worried about. All right, wish me luck. Well, that worked out really well. I got 3 good coats of paint on this. It's going to take a while to dry, but when it is dry, that should last it the rest of its life. Yeah, real happy with that. Except for this. I forgot to plug these holes right here. What I'm going to do is take a cotton swab with some lacquer thinner on it and just go around on the inside. That'll clear it up real quick. But otherwise, I'm really happy with the results on this. I'm going to guess this will probably take a good week before it's ready to be messed with. And I'm going to leave it right in front of the heat and let it harden up as much as possible, because I believe I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to flip it over. I'll probably put it on a nice soft pad. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to install a lot of the stuff that goes up underneath here before I put this head back onto the columns there. Before that happens, during the time that this is drying, I'm going to be installing those columns onto the base casting here, getting the bed rollers on, and getting the sprockets and everything. Well, I'm going to install it onto this and then get the sprockets on there and do the adjustment. I don't know how hard that's going to be, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty darn hard. We'll see. You got to adjust this, get the sprockets on the bottoms of these, get the chain on there, and then get all of these to the exact same height. I should be able to get them really close to the same height before I even start doing that, but again, I've never done it before, so that remains to be seen. A lot of stuff coming up, a lot of assembly work, so make sure you subscribe and click on that little bell icon right next to the subscribe thing there, and you'll be notified when I upload new videos. They're going to be coming hot and heavy this week. We'll get the last of the stuff painted as well. And with any luck, we're going to have ourselves an operational planer within, I'm going to guess, by the end of next week. So make sure you stop back to see that.